The morning started like any other on the set of Live with Kelly and Mark. Producers buzzed around the brightly lit studio, adjusting cue cards and fine-tuning the schedule for the day's taping. But beneath the surface, there was a subtle current of tension, the kind that only comes when someone very high-profile is about to walk through the doors. Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, was set to appear on the show for the first time. Her publicist had coordinated everything down to the second questions pre-approved. No mention of the royal family unless she brought it up, and a tight time limit to avoid anything off-brand. Kelly, Ripa, and Mark Consuelos, seasoned pros, were used to interviews with A-list stars. But this one felt different. Not because of Meghan's fame, they'd interviewed everyone from Beyoncé to Barack Obama, but because of the swirling media climate around her. Meghan arrived 10 minutes early, escorted by a discreet security detail. She looked poised, radiant in a tailored cream pantsuit with her hair in soft waves, her signature California calm on full display. She greeted the crew politely, posed briefly for backstage photos, and was ushered into the green room. Meanwhile, Mark was reviewing the updated segment outline. He frowned slightly. So we're not allowed to ask anything about the royal family. At all. A junior producer replied. Not unless she brings it up first. That's what her team made very clear. Kelly leaned in. Look, we're not going to go digging, but if she wants to be in the spotlight, she knows the questions come with it. Mark nodded. Exactly. We ask celebs about their controversies. All the time. She's not immune. The lights dimmed. The show went live. Meghan was introduced to polite applause, and she took her seat between the hosts with the same grace she brought to royal walkabouts. The first few minutes were light, talk of California life, motherhood, her rescue dogs. Meghan smiled, laughed, in all the right places, and spoke passionately about her upcoming podcast season. Everything was smooth. Until Kelly pivoted. So Meghan, she said, folding one leg over the other. You've said in the past that you felt silenced. But since stepping away from royal duties, some people feel like your narrative is everywhere. Books, interviews, documentaries. How do you balance that? The smile on Meghan's face thinned. I think people confuse being silenced with being curated. When you're in an institution, your voice is filtered through layers of approval. Now, I can speak directly, and that can feel loud to those who weren't used to hearing me at all. It was an elegant answer, but Mark didn't let it sit. But don't you think that speaking directly sometimes looks like controlling the narrative? Some say you avoid tough questions. Like right now, we were told we couldn't bring up the royal family. Meghan's eyes darkened just slightly. That's not entirely accurate. I never said you couldn't. I said I wouldn't be commenting on specific individuals. There's a difference between personal boundaries and censorship. The audience murmured quietly. The tone had shifted. Kelly tried to soften it. And of course, every public figure deserves privacy. But the criticism is that you've asked for privacy while staying very much in the spotlight. How do you respond to people who see that as contradictory? Meghan turned her body slightly toward her. It's not privacy I've ever asked for, it's respect. There's a big difference. I'm a public person, yes, but that doesn't mean I forfeit all dignity or allow myself to be dissected under a microscope. Mark leaned forward, less patient now. But when someone signs a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix to tell their side of the story, they're inviting the public to dissect it, aren't they? That was the moment everything changed. Meghan's expression hardened. She reached up and unclipped her mic, standing slowly. I agreed to a conversation, she said, voice low but cutting. Not across Kelly sat in stunned silence. Mark looked up, clearly caught off guard. You're walking off? Meghan looked toward the off-camera crew. I think we're done here. A producer rushed forward. One of the floor managers mouthed, cut, to break. The screen faded to a logo just as Meghan walked off the set, heels clicking against the polished floor. In the control room, chaos erupted, and in the studio audience, dozens of phones had already begun filming. What had started as a high-profile media appearance had just turned into a public firestorm, and Meghan Markle had walked straight into the eye of it. Meghan Markle walking off Live with Kelly and Mark had become the viral moment of the day. Though the official broadcast had cut to commercial before things fully unraveled, audience members' cell phone videos filled in the gaps. Clips of Meghan calmly removing her mic and delivering her final cold remark. "I think we're done here," were reposted across social media platforms with lightning speed. Asterisk back at ABC headquarters. The mood was tense. The producers scrambled to draft a statement, hoping to defuse the situation before it spiraled further. Meanwhile, Kelly, Ripa, and Mark Consuelos remained unusually quiet, refusing all media requests for comment. Internally, they were frustrated. Not at each other, but at the entire situation. Asterisk, she didn't want to talk. She wanted to control, Mark muttered in the dressing room after the show. If you only agree to be interviewed under your terms, it's not an interview, it's a monologue. Asterisk, Kelly nodded. We've had world leaders on this couch and asked tougher questions. She wasn't under attack, she was just asked to explain herself. Asterisk later that afternoon, Kelly posted a single sentence on her Instagram story. We ask questions, that's our job. She didn't tag Meghan, she didn't need to. The internet already knew exactly who she was referring to. Asterisk meanwhile, Meghan had retreated to her hotel suite in Manhattan, where her team was working overtime to regain control of the narrative. Her head of PR, Dana, was furiously texting media contacts pushing a pre-written statement that painted the morning interview as an unexpected ambush. According to Meghan's camp, she had been misled about the tone of the interview and was deeply disappointed by how it unfolded. Asterisk, she handled herself with grace. Dana told a friendly journalist on a call. She walked away, not because she couldn't handle it, but because she refused to dignify rudeness. But not everyone bought that version of events. By that evening, major media outlets had picked sides. The View aired a special segment dissecting the moment. Who was in the wrong, Meghan for walking off? Or Kelly and Mark for pushing too far? Asterisk, Joy Behar weighed in bluntly. If you don't want tough questions, don't go on live TV. She's not a princess anymore. She's a public figure with business deals and a platform. That comes with accountability. Asterisk over on cable news, commentators on both the left and right debated the optics. Some saw Meghan as a woman standing up against media bullying. Others called her entitled, accusing her of wanting publicity without scrutiny, and then came the ratings. Live with Kelly and Mark saw a viewership spike of nearly 20% the following day. Their highest ratings in over a year, ABC quietly celebrated behind the scenes, even as they dealt with the mess. The network issued a short, neutral statement. Asterisk, we appreciate all our guests and believe in open, respectful conversations. While we regret how the interview ended, we remain committed to journalistic integrity. Asterisk, meanwhile, a flurry of op-eds flooded the internet. The New York Times ran a piece titled The Meghan Dilemma, When Control Meets Critique, while a popular feminist blog defended her in an article titled Walking Off is Power, Meghan Markle's refusal to be mistreated on air. Asterisk back in Montecito, Harry remained quiet. Sources close to him said he was concerned about the backlash and advised Meghan to take a break from public appearances. But Meghan had other plans. Asterisk by the weekend, she released a short video on her personal website, well-lit, poised, and clearly scripted. In it, she never mentioned Kelly or Mark by name. But her message was pointed. Asterisk, greater than as women, and especially as women of color, we are often told to smile and stay quiet. Even when our boundaries are crossed. I won't do that. Not anymore. Asterisk, the video received millions of views in less than 24 hours. Her fans applauded. Her critics doubled down. The moment had become more than a celebrity feud, it was now a cultural flashpoint. Asterisk, as for Kelly and Mark, they addressed the incident briefly on Monday's show, with a mix of professionalism and calm candor. Asterisk, we have always tried to create a space for honest conversation, Kelly said. Sometimes that goes perfectly. Other times, well, live TV is unpredictable. Asterisk, Mark added with a shrug. We asked questions. That's our job. And we stand by that. Asterisk, the audience applauded, not wildly, but steadily, a sign that public opinion was beginning to settle. Asterisk, but one thing was clear. Meghan Markle's morning show appearance, meant to be a soft promotional tour stop, had instead sparked one of the most talked about TV clashes of the year. Asterisk, and in an age where public image is everything, walking off that set may have said more than anything she could have answered. Asterisk.